Hi, it's Teresa in Gemma's house. And here we are in the kitchen, again, wrapping up this big project. Following up on my last two kitchen projects of painting the lower cabinets on this one wall and doing a complete wall overhaul as far as colors and wallpaper. I am now going to do something with these knobs. Of course, they match the stainless steel sink, refrigerator, and wall oven, but I don't like them. I want something warmer looking. These are very sterile and cold, and I love copper. Last year I bought these wall plates that I just really love. So guess what I'm going to do with the knobs? I'm going to paint them. Okay, so what I plan to do is I'm going to paint the stainless steel knobs with a copper metallic acrylic paint. And this is pretty inexpensive. I've used it in so many of my projects around the house, and it's a beautiful high sheen metallic look. And these are the drawer pulls that I bought on Amazon. And you can see why I didn't need that center hole where the original knobs were on the drawers. That hole will be covered with this. These are oil rubbed bronze finish. They do have them in a copper finish too that is very nice looking. But at the time I ordered these, which was a couple weeks ago, it was showing that the delivery wouldn't be for weeks. And I didn't know at the time, but that would have been fine. But I went ahead and ordered the oil rubbed bronze ones instead, knowing that I could paint them. They're very nice and heavy, and I really love the shape of them. So I want these two to match, of course. So after I scuff these up with some sandpaper, I'm first going to put a base coat on these to match the handles. I'll make a brown-black mixture with acrylic paint and give these a few coats. And then everything will get covered with the copper acrylic paint. So here's my 100 grit sandpaper. I'm just scrunching it up to make it a little more pliable. And I'll just lightly sand all of these knobs. So to hold the knobs upright while I paint them and while they dry, I have this Amazon box. You know these Amazon boxes can really come in handy, right? So what I did is with a small X-Acto blade, I put a very small X in the top of the box, and I pushed the screw up through the cardboard from underneath, and then screwed the knobs back on. And then they can sit here while I paint them. I can hold them from underneath the cardboard, and then they can sit upright while they dry. Okay, so with a soft bristle brush, I'm going to paint the brown-black mixture I just made with the acrylic paints. And I'm going to give each of these one coat, let it dry, and then touch them up if necessary with a second coat. And this is very easy and keeps my fingers clean because I can just rotate the knob with the screw underneath the cardboard. Brilliant, huh? While the knobs are drying, I'll start putting the copper color onto the drawer handles. With a soft bristle brush, I have my metallic copper acrylic paint here. And I loaded up the brush quite a bit. And I'll put a first coat on. And I'm trying not to overwork this first coat because it will just smear the acrylic paint around. I'll let that dry and then put a second and maybe even a third coat on these. You could probably also use a foam applicator or foam brush for this, or put a glove on and smear it on with your fingertip. And for my projects, I usually list the products that I've used in the description box below. You could also spray paint these, but I don't have any spray paint right now, and spray paint's not that cheap. So I wanted to use what I have on hand already, if possible. And the reason why I didn't buy new knobs is because I have so many knobs on my cabinets in the kitchen, and I just didn't want the expense. But I did want to change out these drawer pulls because this style of drawer pull is my favorite, instead of using a knob. They look kind of old-fashioned, and they just have more character. Okay, I'll let these dry and put on a second and maybe even a third coat on these. Okay, so the knobs are looking really fantastic after the second coat of the brown black acrylic paint. And now I'm putting a second coat on the drawer pulls with this soft bristle brush still. And if you wanted these to look antiqued or old or distressed, you would want more of the base coat to show through, obviously. I think I'm going to put a pretty full coverage of copper on these and the knobs, and then try to tone them down a bit with the dark paint as a final coat. But they're looking nice already. So please let me know in the comments if you have tried something like this, painting your cabinet hardware, and what products did you use? And how did it turn out? I would really like to hear your experiences. Okay, I'll let these dry and give them a third coat. Okay, I put a first coat of the copper on and they look really neat. This is a nice technique too, where a lot of the dark base coat shows through. But I want more copper on here, so I'm going to put a second coat on using a soft bristle brush. Okay, I'll let this dry and then touch up around the sides. I do like the sides though, because a lot of the dark base coat is showing through, so they look kind of antiqued in a way. And now just brushing on a little more of the dark paint onto the bottoms so they don't look too new. This is a back and forth between the dark paint and the copper to get the exact look that you want. Okay, so to add some dark highlights back into these, I added some of the watered down copper paint into black. And again, with a soft bristle brush, I'll just brush some on as highlights, kind of along the edges here. When that starts setting up, I'm going to brush over it again to remove some of it. So I'm just wiping off the darker paint off of some areas and leaving the dark paint kind of in the creases just to give it some more definition. And it did age them quite a bit. They definitely don't look brand new. Very pretty. They do look like copper metal. Wow. So with acrylic paints, it will dry pretty quickly on your palette. You could try covering it with plastic wrap and adding a little more water to it, but you probably will get a lot of wasted paint because it dries so quickly. And after I'm finished with the final coats of the copper paint, I'll apply a couple coats of this DecoArt triple thick brilliant brush-on gloss glaze. It's made specifically for furniture applications. These drawer pulls and knobs will be handled a lot, so this will be a nice protective coat. Okay, so when it came time to attach the drawer pulls to the drawer, my drawer front is attached to the drawer box, so it's pretty thick. And luckily, these drawer pulls came with 2 lengths of screws. I ended up using the longer ones, but I did have to add a little washer because otherwise they were too long and the shorter screws were too short. So these ones worked fine with a little washer attached. And I'm very happy with the look of them. I think they add just the right amount of an extra pop of color to the kitchen. I think they look great with the cabinet color. And I also added them to the upper cabinets. And the copper knobs look nice with the copper wall plate that I had there already. I love metals, and I mix metals quite often in my decorating in my place. Very nice. I'm really happy with this project. I think it's a very cute look. And instead of just going with the standard builder grade stainless steel knobs, very plain, I think these work much better. It gives the kitchen more personality. So let me know in the comments what you thought. And if you like this video, can I ask you to please give it a thumbs up? That really helps my viewership on YouTube and helps this video reach more viewers. So thanks for doing that. Until next week, thanks again for watching. Bye-bye.